On today's show, stories of longtime fishing opener traditions. We start in the bait shop.
Come on in.
Where the Sonnenstall brothers have kept busy nearly half a century.
It's pretty rare, 48 years.
But this party could be their last.
Sad.
We tag along as one Minnesota family celebrates opening morning with Wokfest and a tasty walleye recipe whipped up by Laura and Chef Jim.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hey everybody, Laura, Millie, and I welcome you to today's special episode. We, as a backdrop, have the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum.
Sure is beautiful in here.
I love it.
Today we're celebrating stories all about Minnesota's walleye opener.
Yeah, and this first story starts with me as a kid on my bike riding to Wayzata Bait Shop. I've been going to the place ever since, which is why this story is so dear to my heart. Some traditions can never last forever. Minnesota's Fishing Frenzy, an annual traffic jam of anticipation.
It's a beautiful day.
Best expressed by the raw emotion
Nice, it's a nice one.
of a 12-year-old.
Let's go. He was pulling hard.
Fishing opener gets big kids excited too.
Come on in.
Proof of that by the bucket load
The last 2 dozen.
at Wayzata's Bait Shop, a legacy hangout of sorts
Get the pole today. Big day.
for so many people.
Cameras? Yeah, just kind of keep people honest, you know.
Never know who might pop in.
Hulk Hogan was here. Kirby Puckey used to stop in all the time. Big Pat Williams, Steve Hutchinson. The spinner baits are the ones that Danny Green used to come and get.
Come see that. Well, that's why they're sitting there, is all that, so right there. I've been here every opener 26, 27 years.
Rory Nelson always shows up on the eve of the fishing opener.
The camaraderie of the store, hanging out here. I'll help them dip minnows tonight, hang out, talk to people, help them fish.
And to think he's been around half as long as the guys who own the place.
Good afternoon, Wayzata Bait.
The Sonnenstall brothers, Tim and Bob.
That's pretty rare. You know, if you think about 48 years.
Bob's here every morning at 5 a.m. Christmas, Thanksgiving, every holiday, this place is open, taking care of the community.
Not too many brothers can hang out together, you know, and work together. He works the morning shift, I work the afternoon shift.
If something happens where I want to go up north to see my grandsons, he covers my hours.
Been that way darn near forever.
In '75, we started this, and I've been here ever since, so I've been here pretty much my whole life.
Now, Tim and Bob found time to fish early on, but eventually the bait business life consumed both.
I remember back when, say in the early 80s, I'd have to have at least 8 people to help me. And we had all we could do.
But on this opener,
Shad wrap is all I would
the
have.
start of the season
Have a great opener.
signals the end.
It's inevitable. I've seen it coming, I've been seeing it coming, and I've been seeing it coming. It's done.
Sad. I've spent a lifetime down here. It sucks.
Today is our last opener.
See, the building that houses Wayzata Bait Shop will soon meet the blade of a bulldozer. Seems Wayzata prefers another car dealership along the frontage road.
I've had women go out that door with the tears running down their cheeks, knowing that it's over, you know, the end has come. It's hard. It's hard.
Wayzata Baits regulars vowed to celebrate one last opener.
We throw a pretty big spread on. You're talking probably 26 years of having food down here for every single opener. Best coleslaw I've ever had in my entire life.
Minnesota bait shops are, well, they're a dying breed.
There's not a lot of places like this left.
All good stories eventually come to an end. So goes the 40-year tale of Wayzata Bait.
What are you gonna do? I don't know. Get a job. I've never had one before, you know.
Guess it's time to go fishing. The last thing anyone here wants.
It's gonna be a really hard day. It's gonna be sorely, sorely missed.
Of note, the shop closed permanently in 2023. But both Bob and Tim were nominated and will go into the Minnesota Fishing Hall of Fame this year. A good way to remember the place that helped me learn to fish.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, Star Bank, White Bear Lake Superstore, and by your boat club.
Many families have opening day traditions they like to keep, but for John Denzer, he covets the weekend by honoring family members who fished long before him.
When it's fishing opener time in Minnesota,
All right, clear the path.
you can find John Denzer and family prepping for their annual fishing tournament.
Wow, what a group this year. We started WAP Fest, 8 years ago to honor my grandpa. WOP is my grandfather's initials, Wendell Otto Plumoff.
Grandpa would be proud.
He loved the lake, he loved the fish, he loved to fish with family, friends. This year I would like to honor my cousin, David, that had recently passed. Tragically. I am sure my grandpa and David are up there fishing together. To keep it short and sweet, I just want to say thank you all for coming and making this another great year. Let's go catch some fish so we can have our fish fry. Straight back. I got my sister over here with her camper. They came from Watertown, South Dakota. I got my aunt and uncle from Indiana. This is kind of home base, it's kind of neat.
Awarding Grandpa's hat for the best blooper is also a tradition.
It's basically a hat to represent,
Some bad luck, something.
yeah, like
that happens.
some bloopers type
Yeah.
thing. Call it the booby hat.
It's just a lot of fun, even if you don't catch fish. Just everybody getting together and celebrating and laughing and just having a good time.
And the best part is remembering. We go back and we'll hear the same story sometime year after year after year, but it's so fun to revisit that.
Storytelling and fishing go hand in hand with the opener, sometimes including not so perfect weather.
One, we've been up here since, I was, like I said, a kid. And two, we're the only ones out here. So it's very peaceful.
Every angler knows prayers can't hurt.
Fish on! Just a little one.
What we like to do is we always like to fill my grandma's freezer full of fish. Sure. Because she was a true Catholic that ate fish every Friday of the year, as long as she had fish. Nice one.
Nice fish, huh?
You gotta give it a kiss.
I am not kissing.
Yeah, come on.
All fish kissing aside, it's time for shore lunch, starting with the official weigh-in.
That much.
1-4. I've told my kids that tomorrow is never promised. So enjoy the day that you're in.
Shake it, Mark.
It doesn't even register.
You never know when that last time you're gonna see somebody is.
Another reason fishing with family or friends on opening day is always judged a keeper.
If you happen to get a little lost in life, well, now you got one day. It's focused all on him. That's kind of, I'm hoping he would be proud. I'm pretty sure he would be.
Down on the other.
And welcome back to another adventure.
Still ahead, the very best fishing show you've never, ever seen.
2 new sizes.
But first, a new recipe for you to test out this year.
Closed captioning provided by Voyager Lodge and Houseboats.
It's officially walleye season, and I'm here with Chef Jim Kinberg from Stillwater Country Club. And Chef Jim, we know there's walleye on the menu. We love it when walleyes come back in season. What are we cooking today?
We are cooking this, so it's going to be pan fried.
Love
with
it.
Clarified butter. But we're going to do a little, it's a simple sauce, but it's a good sauce, and it uses maple syrup and Dijon mustard.
Okay, let's get started. What are the first steps?
So we've got our fish fillet right here. One thing you'll notice with the walleye, they do have a line of bones that go down. So we're gonna do a little V-cut to remove those bones. So what I like to do is just kind of take my finger and run it across that middle section, and you can actually feel the bones. And they usually go down about halfway. So you wanna preserve every little bit of fish you can, and just take it at an angle. You can actually feel the bones with the edge of your knife. See how we're just cutting that in, a little bit of an angle. Right like that, lop it off.
Time for some seasoning?
Time for some seasoning.
Smells delicious. What's in here?
So we have some sea salt, garlic salt, onion salt, and some dried thyme powder.
Ooh.
All right, so we've got a nice thin little layer of clarified butter covering the bottom of that pan. We got a little smoke coming off it that tells us it's hot.
It's ready.
And I think we are ready. So once again, we're always gonna drop this fish in away from us so it doesn't splash. So it's gonna be about 4 minutes on the first side, maybe 3 minutes on the second side.
Just a clarified butter facial.
All right, so it's been about 4 minutes. I'm gonna take a little peek underneath. I see some brown color.
Beautiful.
So this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm gonna take this fish spatula, get underneath there, and just give it a nice little flip. And that's the golden brown color we want. Squeeze a little of that fresh lemon over the top.
Fresh lemon.
Time for the sauce. We're gonna start with the Dijon.
Dijon, is this about a tablespoon?
That's a tablespoon and a half.
Tablespoon and a half.
There you go.
That's
Got some red wine vinegar, tablespoon and a half again.
red wine vinegar.
And we got some olive oil.
Perfect, love it. Then we have local maple syrup.
Local Minnesota maple syrup.
Keep it close to home.
That's right.
Some red pepper flakes.
Yep. Crushed red pepper flakes.
Is this oregano?
Oregano.
My nose is getting better at this. And dill.
Fresh dill.
All the perfect flavors.
Yeah. All right, I think we're ready to plate.
Easy enough. Looks so good.
Yeah, we're gonna drizzle. You can drizzle sauce over the fish, around the edge of the plate.
Okay.
There you go.
Fish,
Looking good.
You want an
Soak some
extra
up.
dipping?
Exactly. Look at
Look at
that.
that. Woo.
And we got some lemon slices. Look at you go. That's beautiful.
Easy recipe. I'm ready to try it.
Got it. Let's see how we did.
This is a big bite.
Can't get it on my fork.
So good.
That is really good.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Flow Docks and Lifts, Coors Light, And by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
This next story takes me back 15 years to the fishing opener where a group of guys tried to steal my job.
In the quiet Wisconsin town of Cornell, a river runs through it.
Do you see that water down there? Holy Lord.
And right over the banks of the Chippewa.
Whoa, whoa.
Yes, come heck or high water,
Can I get another?
Steve Burkholtz and buddies will be set up on the banks come the morning of Wisconsin's Walleye Open.
Muskie!
For good reason, too.
Oh, nice one. Woo.
Smallies and big football-sized ones, and northerns and sturgeon and muskies and crappies, and you just really never know what you're going to catch.
I hooked something and I'm not even fishing yet.
This story and this place are all about traditions that start the eve of the opener.
I'm only hoping this is waterproof.
These guys always camp together in the same spot and on the same weekend every year.
I think it's just a good time, a good excuse to get together.
It's going to be a musky lure, a little bit on the large side.
Now, you can't help but notice right off the bat, their camp customs look different from any you're used to.
There you go, Randy. You got it.
Okay. It doesn't matter what the weather is, you got to go. We can see these guys are catching fish, one right after another, ice fishing.
Night before opener jitters only last so long. Soon enough,
Here's the rain gauge right here, boys. That's what we got.
morning comes, and they take to the banks of the Chippewa, where they become happy fishermen.
The happy fisherman.
Yes, happy fishermen. Just listen.
This is Steve Burkholtz, Stinkbait Burkholtz from the Happy Fisherman Show.
My handle is Jay Busbait. I'm Randy R. Crankbait Gibb. Again, I'm the Happy Fisherman Show Safety Director and Pageant Director.
Okay, this story takes a little more explaining. See that darn video camera?
How's it going today, Jimmy?
And Steve is all about, you know, if these people on TV can have these professional fishing shows, well, so can we. We'll just grab a video camera, go out in the boat, and make fishing video.
Hey, and welcome back to another adventure of the Happy Fisherman Show.
Yep, Steve decided the guys should document their annual fishing opener trips by shooting their own fishing show.
Dave Mental Muskie Gibb is here with us this weekend. We're glad to have him from Mora, Minnesota.
The show comes complete with characters, even props to match.
The almost patented bullhead oil is now coming out in 2 new sizes. Everybody wants to be on TV. Everybody wants to be on radio, you know, and because we have this fictitious show, everybody wants to be included. And it's kind of a neat bonding glue kind of a thing. A little musky.
Consider the Happy Fisherman Show a real dose of non-reality. Heck, the Happy Fishermen even have a rule book, although no one's actually ever seen it.
Have we got a chapter in the book on high water?
Yeah.
Which chapter is that?
That particular chapter got wet.
This is exactly what fishing's supposed to be all about. In a word, fun.
Randy's got a big one.
That's what the Happy Fisherman Show is all about.
Yeah, it's fun.
Look at that.
And we're gonna take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
The show is about friends and family, and it's just a vehicle.
Yes, the Happy Fishermen realize their show may never be big time, but the important part, it is theirs.
That the HFS governing body,
and that's what matters.
Esteemed honor of this year's HFS Excellence in Broadcasting Award.
It's not the fish you catch. It's not the places you go. It's who you're with.
And thank you, Bill.
Long ago, lumber put the town of Cornell on the map.
And then what do we do with the gym? That's right, the waxy warmer.
The Happy Fishermen vowed years ago to someday put it on TV. It appears, goal accomplished.
Listen, we've had a great time here in Cornell, Wisconsin. We want to thank everybody that made this show possible, the Happy Fishermen.
I wonder what those guys are up to these days.
It certainly was a creative idea, and maybe we should invite them to opener next year.
Good idea. Well, that about does it for the three of us. We hope you'll join us again for Minnesota Bound next week.
So remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433.